So I'm going to show you some of the new features for Memory Map for All version 1.1. And we've got quite a few new features that we're quite excited about. One of them is the altitude settings and the ability to calculate your total ascent and descent on a track log. So this is set up in the altitude settings menu here, and previously we've just recorded the GPS altitude in the track log. Now most devices include a barometer as well, and the GPS altitude tends not to be very accurate. It tends to have a lot of kind of wandering noise and more on the vertical direction than horizontal. So the barometer is a good choice if you want to record your changes in altitude more accurately so that you can determine the amount of ascent or descent on a track log. There's also the ability to adjust your current altitude. So if the GPS is not giving the correct altitude, you can adjust it here. And we also allow you to add a customizable amount of smoothing on both the GPS and the barometer. So when you've created a track log with the altitude settings you want, you can view it in the overlays list. And now when you find your track and look at the track properties here, it'll show you the amount of ascent and descent on the track log. And you can also view that in real time as you're recording the track log as one of the data fields in your pages layout. I'll quickly show that. So you do edit layout. If I wanted to have the ascent right here, I would press and hold, add item, and then it's actually under the track because it's a property of the track. So you can do the ascent here. Now we've also added the option that you can have different settings for the units in like distances horizontally versus heights. So now under the units, you can set meters for the height. Okay, one of the other exciting things we have now is support for the Apple Pencil or the Samsung S Pen, and also the stylus or pen on Windows. So all of those are now supported now, and it works quite nicely. If you're planning a route with a pencil, you can use it just like you would a mouse or a finger and just drop a sequence of waypoints. But you can also simply draw with the pen. You can scroll the map with your finger and then carry on drawing with the pen like this. And yeah, it's kind of fun. It feels like a very natural way to draw a route on the map. And yeah, if you've got an Apple Pencil or a Android device with a pen, I recommend you check that out. Another thing that's new in the overlays list is the ability to pull up the context menu for an item, and you can use send to cloud. And so what that does is it's like doing a cloud sync, but it forces that item to be uploaded to the cloud even though it hasn't been changed. And then we also have the ability to fetch all from the cloud. Okay, another feature is you've probably noticed that these buttons and user interface items on the screen, after a few seconds, they disappear. And whenever you touch the screen, they appear again. Some people asked us for the ability to change that behavior so they could keep the buttons on the screen all the time. And so that is now under the display settings, hide controls after. The default is 5 seconds. You can change it to any timeout you want, or including never. Let's see, so another thing we've had was a customer asked us to be able to label waypoints with a name or a number. And so now if we edit a waypoint or a mark, and if we change the item instead of the default, which is a dot, and we're going to set it instead to name. Okay. We can have that point labeled with either its name, or you can use the notes, which can have a paragraph of text instead of just the name. Okay, so the only other thing we've got is under the position format, we've now added Irish grid. So we've got some new topo maps for Ireland. So now we have support for the Irish grid as well. So that's it. I hope you enjoy using version 1.1.